We're up. We're officially live. Good morning to everybody. What a weird day yesterday. So, college football. The VIP started off 0-8, and I was ready to start breaking my computers. I was in a bad place. Then we rattled off 10 straight wins. The VIP ended up finishing 16-14, minus zero point 0.4 units, so we just missed zero. But after an 0-8 start, we were down 5 units after the noon games. To get back to that point, I was pleased with it. Also, NBA was green, and soccer killed it. Didn't Scoop have like 5 units or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. It's a good thing I didn't bet any of that. Shit. All right, so obviously
I was actually up at like 4 a.m., like 4:30 a.m., and I was looking through, and I was like, let me see if Jess has something for Sunday morning, because she always wins. And then I clicked on it, and it was like Djokovic, and then whoever he was playing, like over 21 and a half games. And I was like, I don't even know what the fuck that means. I'm not bet. Like, I don't even know how to bet that.
Knowing Jess, it probably will hit. She's been absolutely on fire. I think Jess is in the chat too. What's up, Jess? If you're listening. All right, so let's get right into it. Enough chit chat. We're on the first game, and it's Vikings on the road at Washington to play the Commanders. So I'll go first here, and I'm definitely on the Vikes. I'm also on the under. Let me put it on the screen first. So I am on Vikings -3, under, what is it, 43.5, 42.5, 43.5. So Vikings -3, jeez, under 43.5. All right, so the public was on the Vikings early in this one, but actually the books have been taking Commanders money all week, and now the public seems to be on the Commanders, which is crazy. And the line dropped. It was at 3.5. It's at an even 3 now. I completely see why the Sharps like Washington here. The front seven's been good as hell. They've been great against the run, and they're third in pressure rate. So they're pressuring the quarterback as well as stopping the run. But as good as Washington's defensive front has been, the Vikings' offensive line and run game has been just as good, if not better. Vikings are fourth in rushing DVOA. Hold on, I have that open. Let me just make sure that's right before I say it. Yeah, fourth in rushing DVOA in the NFL. So yeah, that's a serious run game. We've seen Washington go up against another really good run game in the Cowboys, and the Dallas smacked them around. The Vikings defense has definitely underachieved, but I don't think people realize how good Minnesota is playing against the run right now. So in weeks 1 through 4, check this out. In weeks 1 through 4, the Vikings run defense was ranked 27th. It was awful against the run. Want to know what it's been since? First. Since from week 5 on, the Vikings have had the best run defense in the NFL, which means the pressure is on Taylor Heinicke in this game. I like Heinicke. I think he's got a little bit of magic in him. He gets the ball to Terry McLaurin more than Wentz did. But this offense, I mean, if we just look at last week against the Colts, that offense was doing nothing until the end of the game where Heinicke had those 2 drives. They finished the game with 362 yards of offense. 171 of those 362 came in the fourth quarter in those last 2 drives. So up in that till that point, they had 190 yards of offense. Washington's not going to be able to run the ball on the Vikings here. Heinicke's going to have a big game through the air to win it, and I'm not seeing it. It might be a little bit of a square pick, but I don't care. I'm on Minnesota. I'm laying the 3, and I like the under because I do really trust Washington's defensive front. So I could see this game being like 21-13 Vikings, something like that. Sean, what about you?
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm on the Vikings here -3 for all the points you made. I feel like the narrative around this Washington team is like, since Wentz went out and Heinicke came in, they're just completely turned it around on offense. And it's not the case at all. Yeah, they obviously went in and beat Aaron Rodgers to start off. But last week, they were shut down, and Terry McLaurin had to make an insane catch down at the 3-yard line to set them up to win that game versus Sam Ellinger. And then this Washington D's, like, they're on paper, they're very good. As you said, they get after the quarterback. But it's 1 p.m. Kirk Cousins. He's going to get the ball out. He has a new weapon in T.J. Hockenson. But Washington is very good against tight ends. But Justin Jefferson, Dalvin Cook running the rock, KJ Osborne. It's just weapons galore for this Vikings offense, and Taylor Heineke having to make plays to keep up with the high octane passing attack like that. I just don't see it happening here. It's been a feel good story for the Commanders so far, but it's back to reality.
Yeah.
Someone called you Big Red in the chat. I didn't think anyone knew that nickname. Is that your actual nickname?
Yeah, like from like high school and stuff.
That's good. All right. Prop Beaver, where are you at?
Oh, it's Big Red. So I have 3 different plays for this game. My favorite play for this game is TJ Hawkinson under 35.5 receiving yards. So I bet this on Thursday when the line first dropped, and it immediately moved to 30.5. Then some report from some guy named Fowler last night. I don't know who that is. I couldn't really care less. He dropped a report that TJ Hawkinson's going to be heavily involved in the offense today. I mean, as what? A run blocker? Like, this system is very hard to learn. Kirk Cousins, like, throughout the first 4 weeks of the season, all he was doing in interviews was talking about how hard the system is to learn. TJ Hawkinson's going to come in and learn it in 4 days. And he faced his team already this season. He had 27 yards on 7 targets. I don't even think he sniffed 7 targets here, so I love that play. I'm going to go with Heineke over 235.5 passing yards. And that's simply just a fade of the Minnesota Vikings pass defense. Let's look at some of the recent quarterbacks they played. Kyler Murray, 326. Bridgewater and Thompson combined for 400. Andy Dalton, 240. Jared Goff, 280. Justin Fields, 210, which is like 500 for him. Just give me Heineke's over there, and I'm going to take the Commies +3. And that's because, honestly, I really do like the Commies at home. I think that the Vikings, although Kyle will argue with me that they only played 2 road games, their third down numbers and red zone numbers in those 2 road games are piss poor.
They played one was against Philly on primetime where Cousins sucks. And the other one was what, Miami?
It doesn't make up for the fact that they're converting like 23% of those third downs in those 2 games. Like, they couldn't do anything. I'm sorry. Give me the Commanders at home.
Okay, so you like Washington +3. I missed the third bet.
Oh, Heineke over 235.5 pass yards.
Oh my God, what a sucker.
No, I like that Heineke over because typically you're going to throw more when you're behind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Typically, he's going to throw more into Cam Dantzler's hands.
We'll see about that.
All right, let's move on to the next one. Panthers at Bengals. All right, I'm on Cincy, so I'll start. It's back up to 7.5 again. It was at 7 last night, and then I woke up and I saw Sean's notes in our little thing, and he wrote Panthers was 7.5, and I was like, this scumbag's trying to steal a half point. And then I went and looked, and I was like, shit, it is 7.5.
No, yeah, that's what it was.
So, yeah, I'm on Cincinnati. Carolina has looked solid recently against NFC South opponents. This Carolina team is 0-5 against teams not in the NFC South. Cincinnati is coming off the most embarrassing loss in recent franchise history on prime time. I mean, that was embarrassing. Cleveland, I loved it because we had the Browns, but Cleveland beat the brakes off them. This is a perfect spot for a Bengals bounce back. It's tough for me to explain these charts. If you're on the VIP, you'll see them when I post it. So the Bengals offense was doing this all season. Week by week, the offense was getting slowly better every year, and then the Browns was just a huge drop-off. So I'm writing that off as a fluke in a primetime divisional game against a team they really never play well against. So I'm just gonna write the Browns game off as a fluke. The Bengals won both of their last 2 home games by double digits. The team has way better numbers at home, both offensively and defensively. Carolina also, in addition to haven't winning a game against a team not in the NFC South, they also haven't won a road game all year. They're 0-3 on the road, and if it wasn't for DJ Moore's crazy Hail Mary catch, they would also be 0-3 against the spread on the road. And yeah, the Panthers' defense may be decent against the run, that's true, but it's 27th against the pass. And last game, it was horrible against the pass. They were struggling to stop Marcus Mariota and the Falcons' passing attack. The Falcons' offensive line has a worse adjusted sack rate than the Bengals do. So I know people criticize the Bengals' pass protection. The Panthers' defense couldn't disrupt Mariota's passing game, and the Bengals are better in pass protection than the Falcons. So I'm on the Bengals in at least a 2-touchdown win here. Sean?
Yeah, I'm on the Panthers. It might be one of my least favorite bets of the day, honestly. But last night when I was finalizing a pick, I this is one of the games of why I did it so late. I didn't know what I was doing in this game. Um, but I asked myself, what do you think is more important? How the season long numbers look for the Panthers, or how good they have looked since Wilkes and PJ Walker have took over on offense? I chose to go with the latter. I think this offense actually is a lot better now with PJ Walker. Obviously, they traded Christian McCaffrey. Chuba Hubbard is out today as well, but Dante Foreman has been running the rock. And I think he can have success versus this Bengals front, moving the ball as well, which will keep the Bengals offense off the field. They limit the possessions here. And then, obviously, the Bengals, it could be an outlier performance, what we saw on Monday night versus the Cleveland Browns. But I can't ignore the fact that Jamar Chase was out in that one, and the offense just looked broke. Like, Joe Burrow didn't have his safety net, didn't know where to go. And this Panthers defense, I believe, is good enough to stay within this number. I really, not really like it, but I like it a lot more than I did at 7 with 7 in the hook. But I can't lay a touchdown right now with this Bengals offense.
I think Prop Beaver's on your side, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm in the same boat as Sean. Personally, I don't really like what I'm seeing from this Bengals defense over the last 3 or 4 weeks. When I put out my prop play for Chubb in that Monday Night Football game, I remember looking at the Bengals rush defense numbers, and slowly they started to become not a good rush defense with DJ Reader out. Now you take Chidobe Awuzie out, and we saw what Amari Cooper and Jacoby Brissett were doing to, I forget whether it was Eli Apple or the other kid they have, but Jesus Christ, they were cooking him. I know Philip Walker, Mr. Philip Walker, isn't the greatest quarterback of all time, but I mean, goddamn, did he make a top 10 throw last week? And I don't know, there's just enough fight in this Panthers team to cover the number. The Panthers are fighting, and I mean, honestly, the Bengals look lost right now.
Yeah, I mean, those are all fair points, and you know what? I would be a lot more pissed off about that PJ Walker throw, because obviously we had Atlanta -4, but the thing is, we really didn't deserve that cover. It was kind of bullshit that we were covering in that spot, so that's why it wasn't like, it was kind of like, whatever. If that was like a bad beat where the Falcons were dominating all game and lost on that, I would have rifled something through my television screen. But we really didn't deserve that cover, if we're being fair.
Yeah.
PJ Walker, good against the NFC South, trash against everyone else. We'll see. We'll see today. Bills at Jets. Ready for this? I'm on the New York Football Jets. I actually have 3 bets in this game, and I'm putting them up on the screen. Just a half unit on each. Not going crazy here. I'm on the Jets +11. I'm on the Jets first half +6.5, and I'm on the Bills team total over 28. And don't worry, I got great numbers to back this up. All right. So first of all, where are all these Buffalo Bills blowout wins? I feel like everyone has it in his head that like the Bills are just crushing teams, and I mean, in the last 5 games, they've only won by more than 10 points once. Just one time, and it was home against the Steelers. Think about this logic. Seriously, listen to this. So, you got the Bills last week at home against Green Bay. They're 10.5-point favorites. They don't cover. They should have, but they don't cover, right? Now, they're on the road against the Jets, laying 11. The Jets just went into Lambeau and beat the life out of the Packers. How are they getting more points than Green Bay at home? And the added factor that it's a division game, those games are always a little more unpredictable. That makes no sense to me. I think the public knows that. I mean, I think the books know that the public's going to be on the Bills, and they're trying to get away with some extra points here. I don't understand how the Jets are getting more points than the Packers at home than the Packers were getting in Buffalo, when the Jets are clearly a better football team than the Packers. Guess how many top 10 defenses the Bills have played this year? Just one, the Titans, and they are exactly 10th. The Jets defense is rated better than the Titans. Guess how many top 10 pass defenses the Bills have seen? Just one, the Packers, and they're exactly 10th. The Jets pass defense is rated better than that. The Jets will be, by far, the best defense Josh Allen and the Bills have seen all season. It's also crazy how everyone has just bailed on the Jets, right? I mean, literally 1 week ago, before the Patriots game, the Jets had won 4 straight, and then they were beating New England. They were up 10-3. They're winning at halftime. Zach Wilson throws 3 terrible interceptions. They were awful. And still the Jets only lost by 5. I mean, Sean had the Patriots in that one. You ended up sweating that out a little at the end because the Jets scored. Like, it wasn't even like a domination.
The under, too. The under only won by a point.
Yeah, because the Jets had that touchdown, and it became interesting. But Zach Wilson throws those 3 bad picks. They still only lose by 5. So the quarterback throws away 1 game with bad interceptions, and all of a sudden the Jets go from a team on a 4-game winning streak to a team getting 11 points at home? What the hell? Like, getting 11 points at home in a division game? That seems crazy to me. I feel like the image of the Bills is wrong. The Bills are probably the best team in football, but they're not just dog-walking everyone. Like I said, how many blowout wins they have? The Rams in Week 1 and the Steelers? I mean, they're playing in close games, especially on the road. And also, the reason I'm on the Bills team total under, do you want to know how many points the Bills have been scoring in their road games? Check this out. So they scored 31 against the Rams in Week 1. Since then, on the road, in their 3 road games, 19 points, 23 points, 24 points. And the Jets is the best defense they've seen all year. And the team total is at 28.5 when they haven't scored more than 24 on the road since Week 1. Doesn't make any sense to me. I think these people are blindly betting the Bills because of Josh Allen, and I'm trying to take advantage of it. Sean?
Yeah.
Oh, no, AJ, go ahead.
Go ahead, AJ.
Yeah, my bad. I don't know why I just jumped in there. Yeah, so I do like the Jets in the spot. I more so only like them in the first half, so I'm going to go with the Jets first half plus 6.5. And I'm also going to ride with that Buffalo team total under 28.5 minus 105. Every time they faced a true pass defense this year, which honestly they've really only faced one, but any somewhat decent pass defense this year they've pretty much held them under this number. And the Jets defense has only allowed opponents to score this just once. So, and that was the Browns game where the defense just wasn't in sync. So I'm going to ignore that. Jets defense has been playing out of their minds lately. They truly are. I like the idea of Gardner and DJ Reed on the outside to kind of counter the Davis and Diggs duo that the Bills have. That's going to force them to throw to the tight end a bit more, and I don't really know if I can trust Dawson Knox to move the chains for them. And then in terms of the Jets first half, didn't you say yesterday that the Jets were 6-2 in the first half spread?
Jets are 6-2 against the spread in the first half.
When they played last year, these two teams, Zach Wilson was 7-20, had 85 yards and a touchdown, 0 picks. They didn't wind up covering the full game spread. But what did they do in the first half? They covered. They covered that spread, and they covered this spread. I think the same happens today with a much better defense for the Jets.
All right, Sean is on the Bills. Tell us why. Tell us why you're wrong.
I'm not only on the Bills, but they made my top 5 bets list for today.
Oh shit!
I think this number's too low. I understand how good the Jets have been so far this year, especially on the defensive side of the ball. And I almost said New York. It is in New Jersey, so it is a little pause for a road division game. But this Jets team is missing multiple offensive linemen still. Their number 1 offensive weapon in Breece Hall. There's going to be 0 running game. James Robinson is questionable in this game, so they're going to have to rely on Michael Carter versus this Bills front. And for how good the Jets defense has been, the Bills are better. They're a better defense than the Jets. And then is Zach Wilson just going to stop scrambling for no reason and running around like a chicken with his head cut off and not making mistakes all of a sudden in this game? I can't get behind that. This Bills offense, I think, is going to be able to score on this Jets defense. And I really don't know how the Jets score more than 7 to 10 points in this game. I just can't get back. But I can't back a team who's missing Breece Hall, going to be missing Corey Davis today, plus multiple offensive linemen. Jordan Poyer and Micah Hyde are, of course, big losses for the Bills, and that definitely does matter. But I don't think it matters in this game versus Zach Wilson.
One last point I just want to make is a lot of people keep talking about the turnover issues for Zach Wilson. Yes, last game was fucking horrible. There's no arguments coming from my side. But the matter of the fact is that, yes, he threw 3 picks last game, but in his previous 8 starts, the guy threw 2 picks. He has been taking care of the ball overall as a quarterback for the majority of his last 10 games. And if you look at his one game against the Patriots last season, that was his worst game. He shit his pants against the Patriots. They stung him. They own him. The Bills, yes, they were able to shut him down, but still the Jets were able to essentially cover that number in the first half. And remember what Buffalo did against the Dolphins this year, where they put up all those yards but just couldn't score points? They did the same shit against Jacksonville last year and lost that game as well without the opposing offense doing anything. I think the Bills could potentially have their worst offensive performance of the year in the game.
Yeah. And I like what you said about Zach Wilson only 2 interceptions in his last 8 games, because the truth is, if he doesn't throw any interceptions last week, they beat the Patriots. They were winning and in control before those interceptions.
They killed the Patriots.
Yeah, they were beating them up.
They killed the Patriots.
And like, that was one of the games where, you know, when you bet a bunch of games and you're watching like the Red Zone channel and a bunch of TVs, and like in your mind you're checking that one off, like, okay, that one looks good. Like, obviously nothing's ever over, and it was a 7-point game, but in my head I was like, okay, I'm on the right side there. Obviously things went south.
Yeah.
So let's move on to the next one. Colts at Patriots. Such a weird game to cap. I ended up going with, I'm on the Colts, and I also took the Patriots team total under. So check this out. Actually, AJ, we did this one before you left last night, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So, all right. So I'm on the Colts. So this is the best run defense and overall defense the Patriots have seen all season. The Colts defense has allowed just 17 and 19 points in their last 2 games. Shaq Leonard is back, and I think this Colts defense is going to establish itself as a top 5, possibly even top 3 defense for the remainder of the season. Honestly, what is the Patriots offense going to do here? Are they going to run the ball on the Colts? They couldn't even run the ball on the Jets. I want to ask you guys a question. When's the last time the Patriots averaged 4 yards a carry running the ball? Because everyone's got it in his head like, Patriots, Ramondre Stevenson, they're a hard-nosed, run-first football team. You got to go all the way back to the win against Detroit to find the last time the Patriots averaged 4 yards a carry. Yeah, they run the ball. No, they're not efficient at all. That was that was exactly 1 month ago, I think. I think that was exactly 30 days ago. It's the last time the Patriots averaged 4 yards a carry. Not 5, 4. And by the way, in that Lions game, they played a Lions team that was one of the worst defenses in football at the time, still kind of is, at home, and the Lions were decimated with injuries. They were missing 9 starters in that game. The Patriots offense is not good. Honestly, it's not good. And I'm not sure how much they even trust the defense at this point. They had the shutout against the Lions. They won 29-0, but like I said, the Lions were completely wrecked with injuries. What happened in their other 2 home games at Gillette Stadium? They gave up 37 points to Baltimore and 33 to Chicago. Other than the Lions game, this defense has been dreadful at home. The Colts defense is official, real official. And the Patriots team total is set at a number they couldn't hit against the Steelers, the Jets, the Dolphins, the Bears. Patriots didn't hit 23 points in any of those games. I don't see how they go over that total against the Colts, which is the best defense they've seen all year. So I'm on the Colts +5, Patriots team total under 22.5, and early this morning that was at +100. I haven't checked in a couple hours though. Sean or AJ?
Yes, I'll go. Yeah, so from a matchup perspective alone, I really think that this is a nightmare for the Patriots offense because they do rely so heavily on the run. Now you don't have Damian Harris there to spell Ramondre Stevenson. And if you look at Ramondre Stevenson's last 3 games, he's really not doing too well on the ground, only averaging 3.9 yards per carry. When he was the spell back to Damian Harris, he was averaging 5.6 yards per carry. So the run game is less effective when Stevenson is running the ball as the sole back. Now he has to face an Indianapolis Colts rush defense that's, I believe it's 6th in rush defense DVOA, 3rd in adjusted line yards, and 6th in RB yards per carry allowed. Stevenson didn't do well against them last year, running just 10 times for 36 yards. I think he's going to really struggle on the ground. So that comes to my bets, because Colts +5, yes. But I also have Ramondre Stevenson over 3.5 receptions. And then I also have Ramondre Stevenson over 24.5 receiving yards. Both were a half unit each.
Say those Stevenson bets over again. Wait, hold on. Say those Stevenson bets over again, please.
Over 3.5 receptions.
Okay.
And then over 24.5 receiving yards.
Got it. Go ahead.
And I'm putting a half unit on those because if you look at the Colts, they don't allow many yards to receivers. I think they allow the second fewest yards to receivers in the league, 112. Not good. And the Patriots don't really pass the receivers anyways. With Devontae Parker out, I mean, they really only target Jacoby Myers. But when you have Stephon Gilmore on Jacoby Myers, that makes things a bit more tough. Then you have the rush defense. I'm just really not seeing how Patriots are going to run away with this game, even if this Colts offense is horrible. And truly, I think Deion Jackson's undervalued. I think that Sam Ellinger is going to use his legs, and I think that they're going to keep this game really close. It's going to be ugly as hell.
All right. Sean, are you with us?
Kinda. I'm on the under 40.5. Might be my favorite bet of the week. I actually think it is. Both of these defenses are pretty good. They're both ranked in the top 15 in DVOA. And just start off with this Colts offense. Sam Ellinger, I said last week on the show, I think he stinks. I don't think he did anything to dispel my thoughts on that last week versus the Commanders. He's going to have to prove it to me in this Colts offense before I back them to score a bunch of points in the game. I'll gladly take them under like 2 touchdowns in this one. And I totally agree with you that the Patriots offense is going to struggle. I like their team total under as well, as you pointed out. So if I don't think the Colts are going to score 20, I don't think the Patriots are going to score 20. I have to love this under 40.5. Colts defense has been very good, and they're getting Quiddy payback in this one, which is a big get for them off the edge. And then this Patriots offense not only hasn't been good, but now they're missing Harris. They're going to be missing the center, David Andrews. I think it's going to be tough sledding for the Patriots to score versus this Colts defense. And then it's Bill Belichick versus Sam Ellinger. I have to side with the Patriots defense in that one. Don't love the side, but I love this under.
I put this under on the VIP ticket. Actually, I think I put 3 or 4 of your totals on the VIP tickets. You had some good write-ups. I think I put 4. I think there's 4 of your totals I put on there. All right, Raiders at Jags. Okay, so I'm on the Jags here. And I kind of like talked myself into being really on the Jags. In the beginning, I was like, I guess Jacksonville. And then the more I look, the more I'm actually pretty confident I'm on the right side here. The Raiders are so bad against the pass that it's actually starting to become a little funny. Like, this is getting funny. This team is 31st in pass defense DVOA and dropping fast. They're ahead of only Detroit. If you look at the other 2 times that Trevor Lawrence has seen weak pass defense, he should have won both games. He threw for 310 yards against the Giants, and we all know how crazy that ending was. They should have won that game. They also should have won the Washington game. They should have won a few of those games. Trevor Lawrence, despite not looking good, I don't think anyone's pumped with what they've seen from Trevor Lawrence, but he has moved the ball through the air against bad pass defenses. He has exploited bad defenses. Also, Travis Etienne gets better every single week. He's cool. Travis Etienne. I was corrected. I've been saying Etienne since his Clemson days. Apparently, it's Etienne. Right? Or wait, is it Etienne? Now
No, yeah, it's literally the 3 letters, E-T-N.
So it's I was saying it right then. So someone corrected me incorrectly. I was saying it right, and then they messed me up. All right. Anyway. So Trevor Lawrence threw for 310 yards on the Giants defense. The Raiders' pass defense is way worse than the Giants. The Raiders were having problems stopping Davis Mills, bro. Davis Mills threw for 302 and 2 tutties on the Raiders. Davis Mills just slinging it on the Raiders. Jacksonville also plays solid defense against the run. Not great, but it's by far their best defensive attribute. And that's been the story with the Raiders. If you stop Josh Jacobs and the Raiders' rushing attack, you win. You beat the Raiders. I know a lot of people are thinking after the ugly blowout loss to the Saints that this is a nice little bounce back spot for the Raiders, and I do see that. But that's the case if you think the Raiders are a good football team and they'll return to form. I don't think they are. I think this is a real bad football team. I have been, in years past, a Derek Carr apologist because I think he has amazing arm talent. This dude looks lost out there. I don't know if he just truly misses Darren Waller, like his safety net. I really don't know the cause, but he looks like a different guy. He is not in sync. He doesn't look good. And by the way, Darren Waller is not expected to play again, despite participating in 3 light practices this week. Look, I know the Jags are 2-6. I get that. But if you've been watching Jacksonville football this year, you know that this team could be 5-3 pretty easily. I mean, you could make an argument that they could be 6-2. So they're 2-6, but in reality, this is like a 500 football team. And eventually, in the fourth quarter, something's going to bounce Jacksonville's way because it always bounces away from them, and they're finally going to get a win. They've earned more than 2 wins. They'll get their third today. I'm on the Jags. AJ, Sean, whoever wants to go.
Yeah. So I'll ride with you on the Jags here. This is probably like my least confident bet of the day because I think both these teams are actually very similar. Both excel at running the football. Both defend the run extremely well, and both quarterbacks, in my mind, are extremely disappointing up to this point, and have horrible secondaries. So yeah, these are like 2 twins facing each other right now. I'm just gonna take the 2.5 with the team that's at home. The Raiders don't even look bad. They flat out look dysfunctional. They look like a goddamn mess. And I'm just starting to think that McDaniels isn't a good coach. But on top of that, give me one more, and that's Travis Etienne over 21.5 receiving yards.
I like that.
And the reason I'm gonna go with that one is because I know that we've been seeing Etienne excel on the ground thus far, not really through the air, like I kind of expected him to. But now he has a very, very juicy matchup here. He's facing the Raiders. And what do? The Raiders allow the most yards per game to running backs through the air, a gaudy 62 yards per game. And not only that, but they're also second in pass attempts per game to the running back position through the air at 8.2. And wait, I'm not even done there. They're also
But wait, there's more.
But there is more.
If you act now.
30-person DVOA against running back through the air. I really like ETN to pop here through the air, especially if they're able to stop him on the ground.
Yeah, real quick, I just want to say thank you, everyone. The comments are like popping off today. I really appreciate everyone putting their picks and stuff in there. That helps us all gauge. I like how, because that kind of helps us all gauge how, like, because if you're watching this channel, if you're on YouTube watching sports betting content, chances are you're a pretty serious sports bettor. So we're getting a gauge, not really like of what the public thinks of what the majority of serious sports bettors think. So I really enjoy that. Thank you for posting your picks in the comments. All right, Sean. No, Sean, actually, you're on the same side as me, I believe, today in this one.
Yeah, I'm on the Jags plus 2.5 here. For all that you said, but another big factor for me is this Vegas team the Raiders were in New Orleans last week, went back to Vegas, and now have to come back to Jacksonville, Florida. That's a lot of travel for a team, and it's going to be hard for them to get up here on this East Coast time zone. And then also, the Raiders went out and added Chandler Jones to pair with Max Crosby, and they've done nothing to pressure the quarterback. It's insane. Like, they probably have a top 3 defensive end unit, honestly, in the league, and they get no pressure on the quarterback. And like AJ said, these 2 quarterbacks have been the most disappointing. The Raiders went out and got Derek Carr, in my opinion, the #1 receiver in the NFL, and Devontae Adams. And he looks worse than he did last year, throwing to Hunter Renfrow and company. And then Jacksonville went in and brought in Doug Peterson, expecting Trevor Lawrence to take a year 2 leap. He just hasn't done that yet. As I said, this Raiders team doesn't get pressure. Lawrence is going to have time to pick apart this Raiders secondary that isn't very good. And I love AJ's receiving prop with Travis Etienne. He's showing every week why he's a feature back in the NFL.
Yeah, he really is explosive. Hey, AJ, someone in the comments saying that they see 23.5 for the ETN total. I don't know if it's moved.
Yeah, so I'm actually on OddsJam as we speak. BetMGM, Caesars, and DraftKings have that at 21.5, and then FanDuel and Barstool have it at 23.5. Honestly, I would still play it at 23.5 for the same amount. I'm probably playing 0.75 units on it, but I still think it carries a lot of value. They're just simply the opposing running backs are getting fed. This guy ETN was supposed to be the receiving back. I expect to see the receiving back today.
No, I like that one. I'm probably going to do like a little mini SGP, Jags money line, ETN over something. I'll throw it together after the something. All right. Next game is Miami at Chicago. I put this one on YouTube, so I won't like ramble about it because chances are you guys have already watched it and know that I am on the Dolphins. I'm not absolutely crazy about it, though, full disclosure. I feel like with that line, they're trying to... You know what, though? Because the Bears have actually looked good the last couple games. So, well, the Bears' offense have looked good the last couple games. That's what I said.
That's the biggest narrative in the NFL right now. Justin Fields is turning it around.
Yeah. Yeah, and like honestly, he
Yeah.
does look better. There might be some truth to that, but overall, this Bears team cannot stop the downfield pass. I mean, Dak Prescott hasn't looked great this season. He was looking like Joe Montana last week. Like, there's just if you drop back, and if you have time to throw, which you will, because Robert Quinn is gone and the Bears don't have a pass rush. There are open receivers downfield, and in case you forgot who plays wide receiver for the Dolphins, it's Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. The Dolphins may score 50 in this one, and the crazy part is maybe the Bears score 30 back, which is why Sean's about to tell you he's on the over. I peeked at his notes, and I put it on the VIP because I'm 100% tailored. It's the right side. I like Dolphins and over because I really can't see the Bears making a stop. By the way, Roquan Smith's gone. Good luck with that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm on the Dolphins too. I just think there's too many threats because not only do you have to really worry about Waddle and Hill on the outside, but I could see Mostert and Wilson really get going here. They brought Wilson in for a reason. He's going to be active for this game. And now you have Mostert getting 14, 15, 14, and 16 carries in his last 4 games. Finally the lead back of the offense, and he's starting to gain momentum. The Chicago Bears rush defense wasn't good to begin, and now you take Robert Quinn and you take Roquan Smith out of there, and Jesus Christ, that's a mess. I'm just not seeing it. I do believe that the Bears' offense is getting better, and honestly, hats off to them. Hats off to Justin Fields. He got a lot of shit early in his career, but yeah, I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing any stops for the Bears.
All right, Sean, Dolphins and over, I believe. Tell us why.
Yeah, I'm on the Dolphins, and I really love the over here.
Is that 49 and a half?
I'm sorry?
45 and a half. 45 and a half.
Yeah, 45 and a half. Yeah, like you said, the Dolphins could score 50 in this one. Everybody talks about this Bears defense is very good. Forget, they just traded Roquan Smith. They just traded Robert Quinn. That's their maybe Eddie Jackson, you could say, in the conversation. But this is 2 of their top 3 defensive players. Like, they're not going to be – they have nobody behind them to replace them on this defense yet. They're going to try to draft their replacements. And this Cowboys defense absolutely lit this Bears defense up last week. That's Dak Prescott, 2 touchdowns, 250 yards through the air on 21 of 27 passing. What is Tua about to do to this defense with much better weapons than the Cowboys have in this game? My only concern, and I was waiting to see, was if you watched that Ohio State Northwestern game yesterday, the wind was insane, and Northwestern is in Illinois. I was like, maybe the weather's like going to be sticking around all weekend. It's not. It's only going to be like normal weather, like 13 to 14 mile per hour winds. Nothing crazy. Tua's still going to be able to throw the ball in this one. So I have no issues with the Dolphins offense. But the Bears offense is getting better. They just added Chase Claypool. Is going to remain to be seen how much he gets involved in the passing attack in his first game here. But this Dolphins defense has been susceptible to giving up points all year. I think they easily clear 30 to 35 points in this game. So you're telling me I just need the Bears to get me 15? Sign me up all day for that over.
Yeah. Looks like Stephen Hairston in the comments on the under. Surprising there. Just cashed again, by the way. The 21 and a half, over 20.
Oh, my God.
What is that, 24 of her last 31 she's hit? She is insane.
Fucking prodigy.
She is a tennis beast, man. All right, anyway.
Oh, God.
Moving on to a very interesting one. So I am on, and so I'm on Detroit, and then AJ, Prop Beaver, talked me into the Lions team total over, and the more I looked at it, the more I decided that he's definitely right about that. So I'm on the Lions plus 3.5, Detroit team total over 23.5. So first off, Detroit is 6-0-1 in their last 7 as home dogs. They love this spot. They love being the underdogs at home. Been a while since they lost against the spread in that spot. And this offense just seems to work at home. It doesn't make any sense, really, at all. But the numbers don't lie. In their last 4 home games, they've scored 35 points, 36 points, 45 points, 27 points. That's in their 4 home games this year. They're averaging 36 points a game at home. And what does this Lions offense mostly do? Run. I mean, they're 7th in the NFL in rushing DVOA. Their offensive line is 3rd in average line yards. Their line creates space, and their backs take advantage of it. By the way, their passing offense is 16th, so they can throw the ball too. This Lions offense at home is truly good. Not only has the Packers defense been absolutely dreadful against the run, but they just lost Devondre Campbell too, man. The Packers are 31st in the NFL in run defense DVOA. The only team that's worse against the run than the Packers is the Texans, and now they lose their second highest rated defender. I don't even know how long he's out, but I know he's out for this game. That was all I cared about at this point. We always make fun of the Lions defense, right? Yo, the Packers run defense is way worse than the Lions. The Lions are 30th, but if you go by DVOA percentage, the Packers are almost twice as bad. This Packers defense has been so bad against the run. DeAndre Swift is going to play. And by the way, AJ, check this out. I found this after you left last night. So, you know how Detroit's run defense, we always make fun of Detroit's run defense. If you look at since week 5, or since week 4, the last 4 weeks, Detroit is 12th in run defense DVOA. So, yeah, I mean, they're still not a good defense, but they've been playing significantly better, especially against the run. So Aaron Jones, despite being awesome, I think the edge goes to Detroit here. And how long have the Lions been waiting for the opportunity to, end an Aaron Rodgers season? You know what I mean? They could do that. I mean, the Packers would drop to 3-6. They could be 4 games out of the Vikings. They could be 5 games out of the Vikings after today if the Lions beat them and the Vikings win. There's nothing the Detroit fan base would love more than to knock Aaron Rodgers almost, not mathematically, but almost out of contention. Obviously, they'd still be in the wild card hunt. That's insane what I just said. But you know the point I'm making. Over 23.5 at plus money. Sign me up. Detroit minus +3 and a hook. Sign me up.
I'm taking the ballsiest bet in sports. It's my bet of the week, and I put 1.5 units on it earlier in the week. The line moved a bit, so I would only bet it at 1 unit now. But Aaron Jones over 67.5 rushing yards minus 120. Guys, listen. Last week, we finally saw the I don't even know what to describe it as, but I guess the chain that was holding back the Packers broke. It vanished. And what that was fucking LaFleur's idiot ass choosing to not commit to running the ball. Last week, they ran the ball, and they ran it 30 times. You wonder what the Packers did? They amassed 398 yards of total offense. What did they do the previous 3 weeks against the Giants, the Jets, and the Commanders? Their highest game in terms of yardage was 301 yards. So they finally started running the ball, and they finally started moving the ball. Now they're facing a Detroit team that is is amongst the highest in opponent rush play percentage, and there's a pretty nice trend going on against Detroit. If you are a shifty back, you're going to run all over Detroit. Raheem Mostert, 64 on 14 attempts, 4.6 yards per carry. Tony Pollard, 83 yards on 12 attempts, 6.9 yards per carry. Ramondre Stevenson, 161 yards on 6.4 yards per attempt. Rashad Penny, 151 yards on 8.9 yards per attempt. If you have talent, you're going to burn this Lions rush defense that is awful. I don't care what they are in DVOA. Give me Aaron Jones over 67.5 rush yards, minus 120. It's time the goddamn Packers do what is right and feed Aaron Jones. He hit this in 4 straight against the Packers.
This guy in the comment is right.
Against the Lions.
Guy in the comments is right. The line just moved to 4. And I just checked. It's 4 on almost all books. So it's now Lions +4. Still on Detroit. Sean?
Yeah, this over is another one of the totals that I really like in this one. So I like that you're on the Lions team total over. Both of there's been a tale of 2 teams for the Lions so far. They absolutely put up a shit ton of points every single week. Then they got hit with a ton of injuries, struggled to barely even score 6 points in games. Guess what? They were back healthy last week and put up 27 again. They're back to scoring a lot of points here. As AJ pointed out, Matt LaFleur remembered last week that he has Aaron Jones on his roster and he's allowed to use him. So I'm with AJ on Aaron Jones having a good game in this one. And then it's in Detroit, in the Dome. We're not got to worry about weather. And this Lions secondary is brutal. Aaron Rodgers, this has to be the bounce back, I'm not trash game for Aaron Rodgers in this one. I expect him to be able to go out there and have a good game. This is going to be a shootout in my opinion. So I love the over 50 here, and then as long as the Lions offense is healthy, I'll probably blindly bet their overs the rest of the year.
Cool, especially at home. All right, next game. This one's on YouTube, so you guys already know where I'm at. I'm on the Falcons +3. You guys probably already watched the video, so I won't even ramble about it. But long story short, the Chargers' run defense has been awful, and that's what the Falcons do is run it. Even Mariota's getting more comfortable in the passing game, too. This Falcons offense is good, and Justin Herbert's banged up and missing his 2 wide receivers and one of the best left tackles in football. It sucks because I like this Chargers team, and I thought it had potential this year. And if they get healthy, I'm sure they still do, but not right now on the road against this team that's going to run the ball down their throats, keep moving the chains, and stay on the field. Keep Justin Herbert on the sideline. Definitely on. Oh, actually, this line's 2.5 now. By the way, I saw that.
Ooh.
Yeah, 2.5. But so I'll change it. But I'm on the Falcons +2.5. I think they win the game, but I'm taking the 2.5. All right, HA Sean.
Yeah, so I'm going with 2 props in this one, both same guy, Gerald Everett. I like him to get heavily involved here with no receivers on the outside for Justin Herbert. The Falcons are horrendous against tight ends. They allow the 3rd most yards per game to tight ends, and they allow the most pass attempts per game to tight ends. And we see tight ends heavily used nearly on a weekly basis. A ton of these guys are hitting this over. So why am I specifically targeting Everett? It's because Palmer is super slow. It's because Carter is also super slow. Honestly, Everett could be the speediest guy lining up, and he's lining up in the middle of the field where Justin Herbert throws his best football. Justin Herbert loves attacking the middle of the field, and Atlanta leaves it wide open for people to attack. I think the Falcons know that it's going to be pretty obvious that Austin Eckler is going to get at least 10 receptions here. So they're going to want to do everything to prevent that. And I think it's going to open up some nice lanes for Gerald Everett to get some great receptions here. He's already hit the reception total is at 3 or 4 games, and he's hit the receiving total 4 or 7 games. Now without the 2 main passing threats against the worst tight end defense you'll see all year, I like him to get involved. So I'm going to repeat it because I know you didn't type it.
You didn't say it. You just said I'm taking. You just say I'm taking Jared Everett. You never said what it was.
Don't correct me. So over 4.5 receptions, and we got over 48.5 receiving yards. And obviously, I'm taking the Falcons. That's my bet of the week this week.
Falcons. All right, Sean, are you with us on the Falcons?
No, but I'm not against you. This is another total that I like. I'm on the over 49.5. I understand the Chargers offense is injured. Guess what? I don't care. Mike Williams is out. Keenan Allen just needs to hang it up. The guy he can't even maintain a healthy hamstring through a bye week. So there's no sense in trying to come back anymore. Guess what? Justin Herbert is still an elite quarterback in football. I have enough faith in Palmer and Carter and Gerald Everett in this passing game. And then, of course, Austin Eckler is one of the better receiving backs in football. They're going to be able to score against this 32nd ranked secondary in yards per game versus the Atlanta Falcons here. I don't care about the weapons. The Chargers are still scoring into the mid to high 20s in this one. And then for the Falcons, what do they want to do on offense? They want to run the ball. As you already pointed out, the Chargers are hot ass against the run. They're 27th in yards per game versus the run. And the Falcons are getting Cordell Patterson back. I expect them to score in the mid to high 20s as well. I believe this game flies over the total. We're in Atlanta, in the Dome, no weather concerns. Give me the over 49.5.
Yeah, to answer this question, I don't think the Falcons, just because they won and are now in first place, I don't think they're good enough to be overlooking any team. He asked if there's concern with the Falcons playing next Thursday night.
No.
Dude, the Falcons are 4-5. What is the record? 3-4? 4-4. They're 4-4. They're hanging on to first place by a thread. They're not overlooking anything. All right.
Every game is a must-win.
Exactly. Like if they lose, Tampa Bay could be in first place tomorrow. Like, all right. So next game, Seahawks at Cardinals, and Kyler covers, bro. Kyler covers.
Yeah, baby.
This line dropped to 1.5, by the way.
Except for last week.
Yeah, except for most weeks. All right, so I'm on. Oh, you know what? I'm also on Seattle team total under 23.5 at plus 100. Another plus money team total I like. So all right. Seattle Seahawks +2, the most public bet on the board this week. Everyone's on Seattle, so naturally I'm on the Cardinals. Now, the most public bet on the board is cashed 5 of the last 6 weeks, which is just absurd. I don't know if I've ever seen anything like that, but I'm always going to fade that. And I also really like this matchup a lot. Seahawks just beat the Cardinals a few weeks back, and so you think these two division rivals are especially as evenly matched. Seahawks are a little bit better, but not much. You'd think they would probably split games home and home. Despite what you may think about Arizona, they actually play good defense against the run. And that's an absolute must when you play the Seahawks, because everyone's talking about Geno Smith, but the Seahawks are a run-first team. You take away Kenneth Walker and force... Geno Smith likes to play out of play action. He doesn't like to drop back 45 times a game. You got to put him in that situation. And that's pretty much what the Cardinals did in their first matchup. They held Seattle to 19 points. They lost, but they held Seattle to 19 points. I think they have a similar defensive performance in this one. I really like the way the Cards defense matches up against Seattle. DK Metcalf is awful against the Cardinals, by the way. He's played 8... Ready for this? DK Metcalf has played 8 career games against the Cardinals. He has 198 yards and 1 touchdown. Not in one game, in all 8 combined. 198 yards and 1 touchdown. He's always a non-factor in the Arizona games. Maybe it's because of Byron Murphy. Who knows why, but he is always a non-factor. Now, on the other side, we could run into a bit of a problem because the Seahawks defense is real good. In the last 4 weeks, do you know the Seattle Seahawks defense is second in DVOA? Second to the Broncos. The second rated defense in the entire NFL over the last 4 weeks.
My God.
Yeah, Seahawks defense is for real. It took a few weeks to get it going, but this defense is good. And the Cardinals game, the first matchup here, that was where the Seahawks defensive rampage started, really. Like, it's been since then. But there was one thing missing in that game. Because if you remember that game, Seattle was up 12-9 in the fourth quarter. It was close all the way to the end. I had Arizona -1, I think, or something like that. And in the fourth quarter, it was 12-9, and I was like, yo, we're going to get it. All we need is a touchdown. I'm going to hit this. And then Seattle scored a late touchdown to win by 10. But it was close the whole time. Cardinals were missing something in that game. DeAndre Hopkins. Kyler's got Hopkins, and I think it's enough to win this game. Going to be very low scoring. I would lean the under as well, but I'm going to play it safe and just stick to the Seattle team total under because I don't think they can run on the Cardinals.
Yeah, I like your points there. I'm going with the Cardinals as well, obviously, so you could mark that down for me. But, dude, Geno Smith's worst game this year, who was it against? It was against his Cardinals team, and that was at home. The Cardinals blitz at an insane rate, and while Geno Smith has been quite fantastic this year, if there's one thing he struggles against, it's against the blitz, and I believe actually Sean was the one who told me about that. Vance Joseph, there's nothing that man loves more than blitzing up on a Sunday afternoon, and that man is going to blitz the hell out of the Seahawks, make Geno Smith very uncomfortable, and you said it, so thank you for bringing it up. DK Metcalf can't do jack diddly squat against his Cardinals team. Give me DK Metcalf under 65.5 receiving yards, -115. This guy, 34, 58, 31, 46, 23. He's not even coming close to this 65.5 line. Not only that, but you're going to put him on the road. And I know the last 2 weeks, I have to concede that my number one wide receivers versus the Cardinals theory has gotten a bit squashed. They went from first in both yards per game and pass attempts per game to now fifth fewest yards per game allowed and fifth fewest pass attempts per game allowed to wide receiver one. But what I do like is, A, they're number 1 in DVOA against wide receiver one. And number 2, they're number 4 in deep ball DVOA. And that's what DK Metcalf does. He's not this short intermediate route runner. He likes to go deep. I don't think he's going to be able to play his type of football. And ultimately, he goes under yet again for the 9th straight time against the Arizona Cardinals.
Someone asked if you're in witness protection because he's using a different... All right, never mind. Go ahead, Sean.
Yeah, I'm on the Cardinals as well. For the points that AJ hit on, the Cardinals are one of the highest percentage blitz teams in football, and Geno Smith historically is one of the worst quarterbacks in history against the blitz. That was my cap last time, and I was on the Cardinals just like you. We obviously didn't get that cash, but Geno Smith was held to 197 yards, no touchdowns in that one. easily his worst game of the year. I expect the Cardinals defense to look as good, if not better, now that they're at home. And then obviously the Cardinals are getting DeAndre Hopkins back. Benjamin is now the feature back in this one with James Conner on the men's. And I think he's much like Tony Pollard and Zeke in Dallas. Benjamin is way more explosive than Conner. So I like him more in this offense, honestly. I think the Cardinals cash here and win by at least a touchdown.
Ooh, I like that win by a touchdown. Yo, Sean, by the way, I missed it. What was what happened in the World Series game last night? My power went out.
They must have won, right?
Yeah, Phillies probably won, right? Game 7? When's Game 7?
Yeah, Game 7's tonight. Phillies
right.
at 9.
Oh, is Verlander starting?
Verlander. He's 0-7, right? He hasn't won. All right, anyway.
Until I go to the game.
Next up, Rams at Bucks. I put this on YouTube. I'm on the Rams, and at first, I was really oh, this sucks. I'm on the Rams, unfortunately. But I've actually talked myself into, I kind of like it. I don't love it. I kind of like it. If just watch the video on YouTube, I went really in depth. But basically, everything you could say about the Rams offense, you can also say about the Bucks offense. They're really similar. And the delusion here is thinking that the Bucks defense is better than the Rams defense because it hasn't been playing better. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. The positive for the Bucks would be they get their corners back, but they just lost Shaq Barrett for the year, their best edge rusher, one of the most important pieces on the defense. So I'll take the 3 points. To be honest, I was probably taking the +3, whoever had it. If it was Bucks +3, I'd probably be on Bucks. I'll take the 3 points in what I think is going to be a 17-16 football game. Disgusting from Tom Brady against the Super Bowl champs.
Both these teams make me want to wash my eyes out in sulfuric acid. I hate both of them. It's honestly truly a displeasure to even have to bet on this game. But if I have to find an angle here, I'm going with Mike Evans over 64.5 receiving yards at -115. And I really like the value on that because what has Mike Evans done against the Rams? Nothing but dominate. In the playoffs last year, 8 receptions, 119 yards. The game before that, 8 receptions, 106 yards. I'm not going to just read off these game logs to you, but he hit his last 5 or 6 against the Rams, absolutely smoking this line. He's gone above 89 yards in his last 5 or 6 against the Rams. Now take into account that the Rams defense is absolutely horrendous against wide receiver ones. They allow the 4th most yards per game on the 10th most targets and are 30th in DVOA. Not what you want to hear, and this is what really has me liking this bet. So Jalen Ramsey, right? The Buccaneers run the most wide receiver sets in all of football, and what that does is that puts Chris Godwin in the slot. Now, when Jalen Ramsey is in the nickel formation, where does Jalen Ramsey line up? Not on Mike Evans on the outside, not on Julio Jones on the outside, on Chris Godwin in the slot. So who does that leave guarding Mike Evans? I believe his name is Jadarian Kendricks, and he's a 6th-round rookie. He's not good, and he's ranked as one of the worst corners by PFF. Mike Evans is going to be lined up across from that guy all day long, and it's been nothing but a cash machine at home, hitting his last 9 to 10. Give me Mike Evans over, baby.
Mike Evans over what?
64.5 receiving yards.
Thank you. And Sean's against me on this one. He's on the Bucks.
Yeah, I'm on the Bucks, but I hate both of these teams, honestly. I mean, I could easily be wrong in this one. It's just Cooper Kupp is the Rams offense. If he's not going to be 100% and he's going to be hobbled in this one, I have to think that's a downgrade of this unit. Obviously, Shaq Barrett being out for the Bucks hurts, but this Rams offensive line, I don't think could keep any of us from getting a sack through 4 quarters versus them. And the Bucks are 4th in the NFL in sacks per game. The Rams are 30th in sacks allowed per game. I expect Stafford to be under the maybe force him into his mistakes and turnovers here. And I'm just going to take the Bucks at home versus a Rams team that I expect a shittier offensive performance than even the shitty performances we've seen so far with a hobbled Cooper Kupp. But if Tom Brady and the Bucks don't cover this number, just like Gisele Butchin, I'm done with them.
Just like Gisele I'm done.
Bro.
Oh, by the way,
clown.
someone in the comments, someone in the comments said that the Phillies lost. There is no Phillies in 7 because they lost. So,
I didn't know that.
So yeah, we were wondering. Well, thanks.
Yeah.
We didn't catch it. All right. Last game. Sunday Night Football. And this sucks. This really sucks. You know why it sucks, AJ? Because you know how we did this video, right? We put it on YouTube. Someone in the comments goes, "Nice pick, Public Pete." And it's just like, dude, I've gotten some really, really disrespectful, hateful comments. That one got me. That one cut me to my core. I want to take the Titans so bad. I can't. I'm not going to. I'm on the Chiefs, but and this is one on YouTube, so I'm not going to talk too much about it. You could watch the video if you want to hear everything I went through on there. Basically, Titans defense is good against the run. It's not that great against the pass, and it's really bad against the deep pass. This is Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes off a bye on prime time. Malik Willis doesn't look like he can play at the NFL level right now. He certainly can't play in this Titans system. I think it was AJ or someone brought up that shotgun point that I put on YouTube. So he needs to be in the shotgun. Plays his entire collegiate career in the shotgun, Malik Willis. Now he's in under center. Derrick Henry can't play out of the shotgun. Not that he sucks because he's Henry, but he needs to build up momentum. That's what makes him so good. And the Titans are 32nd in percentage of offensive snaps out of the shotgun. Dead last. This team's never in the shotgun. So this is just like a horrible... Why did they draft him, honestly? I think the Chiefs in an absolute blowout. I'm a little scared of the back door, but honestly, what like Malik Willis is going to backdoor cover on us? Like, nah. I'm on the Chiefs.
I wouldn't want Malik Willis playing for my arena turf league. This guy is fucking absolutely dreadful. Truly one of the worst quarterbacks I've ever laid my eyes upon. And I know we have a small sample size, but I mean, truly, if you think Zach Wilson has like no talent, this guy puts him to shame, puts him to bed. Simply put, if you want to call me Public Pete, that's fine. But if I get to make money betting the Chiefs, that's even better. Give me the Chiefs. Are you kidding me? I can't bet on Malik Willis. I don't even think one needs to say much more. Why mention other numbers? Malik Willis. That's it. I'm not betting.
Sean's on the Chiefs too.
Yeah, I'm on the Chiefs as well. If Tannehill is out, then I absolutely love this bet. It's probably going to be gross how many units I put on it, to be honest. Especially because it's Sunday Night Football, and like I tend to do that regardless of the matchup.
Same.
But yeah, Malik Willis and his Titans offense last week set football back 20 years. There's no way I could back them here versus a Chiefs team off the bye versus an explosive team like this. There's just no way. You could call me Public Peter, Paul, Pedro. I don't care. Chiefs minus 12.5.
Yeah, I don't see any, like, trust me, if there was a way that I could find value on Titans 12.5, I would find it. I got nothing.
The problem is, too, that the safety's out for the Titans, which really just doesn't help anything. They're already struggling in the deep ball, and now you take out Hooker. And
yeah.
Like, oh.
I don't even know what Tony's snap share is gonna. I don't know how many snaps he's. I don't know. Someone asking if Tony's gonna score. I have no idea.
I mean, or is he talking about after the game with the club? Did he get in the box? I mean, that I don't know.
I think in the box means a touchdown.
Yeah, no, it does.
Yeah. I was gonna say, like, wait, hold up. So I only have 2 parlays, so I'm gonna only give them to the VIPs. Sean, you have a parlay? AJ parlay?
I have a sneaky touchdown bet. I'm just finding the odds.
All right, let's get that out there.
Sam Ellinger, anytime TD, plus 425.
What?
Yeah, I love him to run one in. If you look at all the running quarterbacks that face the Patriots, like Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Justin Fields, they all have a rushing touchdown, and we're getting it at plus 425. I don't think he's going to be able to throw a touchdown in, if I'm being completely honest. So I'm going to go with the rushing touchdown.
You know what? I'll take it even further. It's going to happen on 4th and goal. Because they're going to actually, it's going to be like, dude, just run it.
And he's going to die for the pylon.
Yeah! All right. So that's it for today. VIPs, the ticket's done. So give me 5 minutes. I just got to add Sean's top bets to the bottom. But everything else is in there. Oh, I actually have to pick an underdog of the day, too. So it'll be out literally 5-10 minutes, and that will be up for you. Everyone, enjoy your Sunday. Thanks as always for watching. And let's have a good one. Let's reel in some dollars today. Talk to everyone later.
Peace out, Chase.